Chapter 6. A Luta Continua. My mother was in the family and I took up almost all the family chores. Then our last born child, Minnie Wanjiru, was born. My work increased due to visitors who were coming to see the baby. A few close women relatives came to help my mom, which was known in the community, but still I had much to do alone except coffee picking, which was done by everyone who was available, but delivering it to the factory was mainly my work. One day as I was delivering 3 buckets measured emptied in the sisal bag then tied on the bicycle, as I was approaching the factory, there was a steep hill with a sharp corner. The bicycle brakes failed and the bike hurtled down the steep hill. I found myself on the tree and the shrub fronts of the steep corner. I was still suspended on the bicycle, but upon checking what had happened, I saw the front wheel of the bicycle was twisted backwards. I thought I was lucky since I was not hurt, except for a little slight scratch and a pain on the joint of my right thumb. I untied the coffee bag, carried it on my back to the factory and came back to the mangled bicycle. I tied it up with a sisal bag and carried home to a bicycle repair in the nearby village known as Gako, and I left it to there for repair. Back at home, Dad has asked what had happened and I told him just a few details. I was now feeling neglected. He was just a peasant farmer who had about 20 children from 2 competing wives. All had to go to school, and so every time 2 competed standard 8, another 2 joined standard 1, and those who are through primary as well as those who are still in primary school pressed him. Gender biases was his tool of survival. He behaved as if I did not exist or as if I had not done my KAPE with my 2 brothers, and being the eldest daughter, he neglected me. When he confronted him with my man and asked him about my education, he became furious and made it clear he did not have money for my further education. This hit us like thunderbolts, taking into account the work I was doing almost alone since all the other children were in school. My mother devised a plan immediately and told me to sleep not knowing tomorrow we'll go to the same place. When we woke up the following morning, she gave me a bag full of farm produce and told me to go to Uncle's place in Nairobi. My uncle, who was staying in River Road near Koja Mosque roundabout, was a personal officer in the Ministry of Home Affairs and was stationed in the police headquarters. I was thrilled, and though I was feeling jittery, I told her I would even go even if I had been there only once. By then, my younger sister Lynette had come to start her education. I set off for the big city that morning, and by 2 p.m., I was near Koja Mosque roundabout. I traced my uncle's place behind River Road near roundabout. When I neared the building, I saw his wife. She was sitting on a stone platform facing the entrance of the Asian-type house gate with the children. She had 2 children, a boy and a girl. She noticed and welcomed me. She was sitting there because she was feeling sick. I asked her, and why she rotted, "Look and see how it is, we are at risk." She noticed and welcomed me. She said she was sitting there because she was feeling sick. I asked her why, and she retorted, "Look and see how it is, we are at risk." "I think this trench is affecting me," she said. After the usual pleasantry, she requested me to take her to the one bob dispensary. After the initial pleasantry, she requested me to take her to the one bob dispensary, Gathifitare Gashirigi Social Service League Hospital, as it was known in Kikuyu. Kikuyus called it so because for every treatment they were told only 1 shilling. I was very green in Nairobi and I didn't know it, therefore I asked where it was, and she told me it was near the central bus station at Kaka. She led the way until we got there. She carried the baby girl Susie and I carried the baby boy Tony. Indeed, we paid the 1 shilling. The diagnosis was negative and the feeling was associated with post-delivery feelings. It had been only 2 weeks since giving birth to Susie. Though she was given painkillers, we went back home. My uncle, who was stayed up at his place of work, Police Headquarters Harambe Avenue, instructed me not to let her venture out at all. But as much as I tried to lock her in the house with the strong steel lever, she shook the door so hard until lever busted out. She quickly opened the door and ran as fast as she could towards the roundabout. I got hold of her and brought her back home. She ran out again and I gave a mad chase. This happened several times every day before she was finally admitted to hospital. She also did street preaching with Maumau Swahili, so refined. By the time I finished attending to the children, she was chasing everybody out there. Later, Aga Khan Hospital referred her to a mental hospital where she was hospitalized for 3 months. Fate had it that the same day she was admitted in hospital, my uncle also joined Kenya Institute of Administration for a 3-month management course. 3 months alone with the children. I stayed for 3 months alone with the children, except for some days when Auntie's brother, Joroge, came and helped with caring for children. Some of the days Warura's Auntie's sister used to come for the children and stay with them at Nairobi South B, where they cared for them with her friend Monica Mondare, who had completed her education in the US and returned home. She was a lecturer at the Kenya Polytechnic. My uncle and the auntie were at last back home. She was now calm and relaxed. My brother Samuel Mboro came over. He had been admitted in Kenya Air Force as a cadet aircraft engineering trainee. Yes, Mayor was in Nairobi and I told him my two brothers had been fixed in secondary school and was left out. He told me he'll go to Duchess of Glasgow School, now Pangani Girls, to see if he will secure me from a Form 1 place. He took my reason slip. When he came back the following day, he told me the headmistress admitted me at once and told me that I should report at once, with school fees among other requirements. He sincerely could not afford to sponsor my education with the little pocket money he was getting at the Air Force. I was angry with my father. Mr. and Mrs. Mark Moshiri, my uncles-in-law, sympathized with my situation and came up with an affordable alternative. The next day, Mark came and took me to Premier College of Professional Courses, where he enrolled me for a secretarial and office practice course.